Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Man's No Bull Beer Reviews. Today I have another beer from Central Waters Brewing Company out of Amherst, Wisconsin. This beer is called 21, which is their 21st anniversary beer. It's a Imperial Stout aged in oak bourbon barrels for 2 years. These guys, they don't really put too much information on their website about the beer, so I don't know what type of bourbon barrels this was in. But it is 13.4 ABV. I've had several of their, I usually try to try every one of them because I don't know this for sure, but I'm pretty sure each time they do this anniversary stout, it's not the exact same recipe or bourbon barrels, I think. Because it's always kind of listed as its own thing. And so I've had, I think I've had 17 through 20 before, maybe even 16 through 20. So I got this. 22 came out like a month or two ago, so this is about a year old now. And I wasn't intentionally aging, and it just took me a while to get around to drinking it, but I'm glad. I don't like to age things for too long, or really intentionally at all. But with only a year on it, it should definitely still be in pretty good shape. I'm gonna crack it open and see what we got. I've said this in other reviews I've done for these guys. Their stuff goes way under the radar, and I feel they're really underappreciated just because they're not doing the super sweet, super thick stouts. But all the stouts they make are really good, awesome barrel quality. And these ones, the anniversary ones, none of them are super thick, but these anniversary ones are going to be on the, probably the biggest ones that they do compared to just the ones that they bottle in the 12-ounce bottles. Other than maybe our day Insignius, but that was a one-off thing. I think it was barrel aged for 3 years. That beer was, I've never had it. That's honestly one of my white whale things, and I feel like now I can probably get it, but I don't know if I want to because it's probably past its prime. But that was probably the biggest, craziest stout that they've done. They also do another one called Black Gold, which is probably, I think that might be aged longer than this too, but this is definitely, I think, a bigger beer than just their regular barrel-aged Imperial Stout. Sorry, so see, it pours a pretty dark brown, but it does have a little bit of cola color around the edges, so it's not jet black, which it doesn't need to be. Oh, that smells so good. Lots of oak and fudge. This honestly really just the aroma. We'll see what it tastes like, but this reminds me a lot of Black Magic, to be honest. There's definitely some dark. I said fudge, but sometimes fudge isn't necessarily dark. There's a lot of dark, dry cocoa powder in there too. For sure, some vanilla, which is, I'm guessing, coming from the bourbon / oak. This one's... So this is kind of proof that you can get something to smell in or taste like that cake batter without actually throwing a bunch of adjuncts in and or making it crazy sweet. Wow. Oh. Whew. That is hot. In a good way, for sure. This is a lot thicker than the last time I had. Unless I just don't remember it right. This is really thick. This is probably thicker than Black Magic or Barrel Age Expedition. And I'm not saying that's a good or a bad thing because I honestly don't care about the viscosity that much unless it's like super watery or like to the point where it's syrupy. If it's anywhere in between that, I'm fine. But that's kind of just what I'm getting off of it. Maybe it's not, and it's not thicker than Black Magic, but it's probably about similar. But it's a little sweeter than I remembered it being too. Now, by today's standards, it's actually really dry, pretty dry. But it's actually the sweetness level is also on par with Black Magic. This reminds me of Black Magic a lot. Not saying any particular one. No, I'm not saying they're all the same, but it's kind of just in that vein. It actually finishes like pretty bitter, and I don't know if that's. It doesn't come off super roasty, so maybe that's hop bitterness. I don't know, but it's not like hop flavor. But it's funny because like the first flavor is like sweet fudge, and then half a second later, it's just a huge wash of bourbon, and I don't mean just like the oak vanilla flavor. I mean like booze bourbon. So if you don't, I don't know why you'd be drinking barrel aged stouts if you don't like the barrel that it's aged in. But if you don't like boozy stouts, you're not gonna like this. But I love that because I love bourbon. I will say I've heard that Ardea Insignius that I was talking about. The people who don't like it, their biggest complaint was it tasted like straight bourbon, which I can understand that given this. Not that this is the same beer, but if it's in the same vein but aged longer and more intense, that would make sense. And the more I drink it, the more subdued that bourbon wash is becoming. I'm starting to get so. There's more like vanilla up front. I thought at first it was really fudgy to me, but I'm picking up more vanilla. I think I'm getting muted to the initial 4 flavors and starting to pick up other things. So I get vanilla up front, and then in the back end, there's almost like a little bit of a maple character, and I don't know what that's. No idea what what could be causing that because I'm 99% sure there's not maple in this. They do a maple bourbon stout, which is also fantastic, but this isn't that. It's almost like doughy, like cookie dough in the back end. Yeah, a lot of vanilla, a lot of spirit, a lot of fudge, a lot of dry cocoa powder. It's a lot of everything. It's one of those things. It's sometimes when I say something's well balanced, it's well balanced in a sense that none of the flavors are super strong. Like they melt together, but none of the flavors are super strong either. It's just like a soft, easy drinking beer. This is the opposite of that. It is definitely balanced because I don't know that one thing is like jutting out, but everything is intense at the same time. Like you get a big hit of this and this and this and this and this. But I mean, if you're drinking a 13% stout, you gotta expect it to be pretty in your face. But this honestly drinks even bigger than I expected it to be at 13.4. I think that's what it was. I know it was somewhere in the 13s when I looked before I did the video. It's a lot different than some of the other ones they did were actually like very subtle and more balanced in terms of like not being super intense, just nice chocolatey, a little bit of barrel, whatever. This is the opposite of that, but in a very good way. So I don't know that I like it better or worse. It's just different. But the fact that I think these are brewery only, but I think you can get like 6 of them, and they don't sell out right away. So it's not something that's rare. And anyone who, a lot of people in Wisconsin that can get them will trade them, for other stuff that isn't super crazy. So, to me, these guys are like Westbrook. They make really, really good stouts, but people just don't really care about them anymore. So if you don't give a shit about hype, and you just want a really good barrel aged stuff, and especially if you're looking for a little bit of a price discount, because these guys are cheaper than Westbrook. I think this is only like $20. Definitely check this out. This is for sure a buy for me. I think this is like slightly less good than the last couple Black Magics I had, but it's only a couple dollars more, and it's double the volume because it's almost double the volume. It's a bomber versus a 12 ounce. So in that case, I would much rather buy this than the Black Magic. Just talking about value per ounce and that type of thing. So definitely a buy for me. But I think that's all I got on this one. Another great beer by Central Waters. Don't sleep on them. If someone offers you their beer, jump on it. They are definitely underappreciated. But please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and I look forward to doing the next one. Thanks.